To come on and first and foremost, I want to congratulate my family, soul brother, and his fiance, soon to be wife, Miss Dee Dee. Let me say, first and foremost, man, like connecting my family with y'all, uh, connecting my vision, my goals, my dreams with my brother and running with my brother, and for him to be able to see my vision even from jump, man. From on your mark, get set. That family was with me, you know what I'm saying, from jump, man. And I just want to say, man, like much love, honor, and respect for that, man. Because you know, in a world where you have vision in such a dark place, man. Like, you know, I look at, I look at really like look at the world, period, man, and just look at how little love, leadership, mentorship, honesty, loyalty, dependability, and it's really like few and far between, man. And just like a really good friend of mine said today, man, he said that he remembered being in the mortgage business and he had a loan, well, actually three loans to do with this one lady. And he remembers his wife falling asleep in her basement on the night that he was trying to, work the papers and do the paperwork. And, if you've ever been in mortgages, you know how the game go. And he said that it wasn't even a conversation of if they were going to leave before that. So they didn't have to go through the back and forth of not being in agreement with each other, because they both decided that when they took on a journey, and they took on the journey as a unit. That is, to me, to run with your spouse is, to me, one of the most powerful unions that you could possibly manifest in this plane, right? Because keep in mind, like, me and my wife, we committed to run together. Now, we don't agree on everything, but we do agree to walk together. Scripture says, how can two walk together except they be agreed? That does not mean to agree on everything. It means to agree to walk together, which means that the greater good is much more important than me being right or you being right. And it has proved to solidify our marriage, and has proved that drawing closer together when you're going through the hottest times in your life is much better in the end. Like, I've seen some things that, most can't imagine. But those things were sent to test our resolve as a unit. And I thank the Father for every lesson learned. But I got to say this, right? With this Wealth Builders Worldwide thing, I have to really, like, I got to give it some props, man. I have never in my life, man. I got my Series 7 back in 2001, man. And I came back to the hood And folk could care less about what license I had or, stocks, bond, mutual fund. They didn't care nothing about none of that. So it was just like, being among the people that I grew up with, it wasn't even no big deal. It was really just like useless. You know what I'm saying? I would have did a better job coming home with a couple pair of new J's. You know what I mean? I can get some more props then. But let me say that with this new journey, man, since December the 1st, man, first of all, I've worked for some of the biggest companies in America. I've worked for American Express, worked for MetLife. I've worked for Equitable, AXA Advisors. I've worked for the top companies on the planet. And I have yet to see a company that first and foremost has leadership, teaching 3 times a day, 6 days a week. Now, if you've ever been in management, you know that you spend most of your days in meetings. In meetings going over the most boring things that you could possibly think of. And keep in mind that not one meeting is designed for you to chase your dreams. Not one. Not one meeting is designed for you and your wife to grab and lock arms and show you by example how to run together, no matter your circumstances, no matter what's on your resume, no matter what you done been through, no matter if you got an F on your report card, all of the above. But what you have to truly understand, though, is that though your past does not dictate your future, but it's a great measuring stick for those that are unwilling to change. So all the things that you has happened to you in your past, understand that those same things are going to happen again in like manner until you decide to change. So I was wondering, how many of my friends, how many of the people that love me, and this is an exercise you could do at your own house. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you something. Truth and self-discipline don't care nothing about what you got going on. The truth is not mine, and self-discipline is not mine. Self-discipline, me and self-discipline, me and truth have conversations every day. I see that I'm more confident. All of a sudden I'm more lucky. All of a sudden things work out so much better when I'm on the other side of self-discipline. Meaning that I have accomplished what self-discipline is going to ask me. 3 words. Did you do? So my family was sharing with us that he was doing like 3 mortgages for a family. It was a sister who was from a family. She was from a wealthy family who had made, a luxurious living and living enough to pass down an inheritance to their children. And she said that they had a little phrase that the grandfather, who was the pioneer, how Miss Sherry Brown say, if you don't come from money, then money should come from you. So this one particular grandfather, who was a potato farmer, he would ask his children and they parents and grandkids and nieces and nephews, he would ask them 3 words. Did you do? Let me explain something to you. It's either you're cold or you're hot. I'm sorry. That's how self-discipline is. And when you look at the poorest people on the face of the earth, I love poor people. I love, I've been poor my life. You know what I mean? I started out poor too. Okay? Not having enough is not something that's foreign to me. Okay? I know what it feels like. But understand that the poorest people have the least self-discipline, but have the best reasons to why they're poor than anybody else on the planet Earth. So I want you to understand something. Even though your reasons are good ones, even if you have every reason in the world to lay down and stay down, even if you've caught more hell in the last year and you don't have no reason at all to continue, man. Even if your reason is good enough, will it be good enough for your children's children? Do you think that they would just hear your story one day? One day when they themselves have lack and they themselves are trying to scratch up enough money to pay the light bill. When they reflect on what type of leadership came before them. Not how much love, because you don't even know them. They don't even know you. The only way your descendants will know you is if you leave them something. That's truth. It doesn't matter what you think and feel. It is time to make a decision. Are you cold or are you hot? Christ said, I would rather that ye be cold or hot. Because those that are 1 foot in non-belief, no faith, and 1 foot in faith, Christ himself says, I will spew you out of my mouth. Why? Because not everyone that says, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom. So I want to send a shout out to Michael and Manisha Dalco. Man, I cannot tell y'all how important you are to me and my family. And how much both of you are ingrained in our vision of where we're going. And it's going to come a time when we sitting across the table from you. I've seen it. And we going to share some things with each other that only we can relate to. Because it's certain things that you just can't make up. Certain things you got to go through it in order to be able to come out or bring it out or bring the understanding. You know, it's something that ain't even funny. They say, you had to be there. Man, I thank y'all, man. Y'all live such a standard, man. Y'all so classy. I mean, every time you see you, I mean, I could just see just with how far you come and just with such grace and man, the leadership and the mentorship is out of this world, bro. And we are committed to coming up and repaying you by being just like you. Straight up. And it's just not a lot of people on this face of this earth that I ever wanted to be like. Okay? That's just me. You know. But I want to be like me and my wife want to be like Michael, and Monisha Dalco. To have that type of poise, grace, leadership, mentorship, love for the people, diligence, consistency, self-discipline to see a thing through that they may not have known at all times. Because you know the Father say he is a lamp at your feet. You know a lamp don't cover but a little small little area at your feet. That's low. Small area. How you supposed to be able to see in the dark area past the light? You're not. That part is for your faith. So thank you, Michael and Monisha Dalco, for helping to increase our faith. Mr. Ty Best, rest easy. Miss Valerie Best, his wife of 42 years, I think, but 47 years of their entire relationship, who passed away in February. And Ty Best came back. I was there. I'm always there because that's how I get out. I'm always there because I want to hear what seven-figure earners, I want to hear what they think. I want to hear how they feel. I want to hear how they respond to adversity. That's why I read the scriptures. That's why I'm so amazed at the prophets. That's why I'm so in awe of what Christ did. That's why I'm so adamant about the spirit of the truth. And it is not mine. You either receive it or you don't. Mr. Ty Best came back after 7 days. I'll never forget it, ever. And he said, when he came to speak to us, is that he said he came back because he and his wife have always said through the years, let the dead bury the dead. Now, I'm not sitting up here telling you that I can duplicate that. I'm not saying that. But what I do know is that in the morning, actually tonight at 9 p.m., the same mentor, leader, brother that went through that, get what he gonna do? He is going to train us yet again. It's Sunday night at 9 p.m. and he will be there. And he will be pouring out everything that he's learned to listening ears. But guess what? Only a remnant can hear it. Shout out Rest Easy to Mr. Collins. Much love, honor, and respect, Mr. Collins. Because you told me back when I first got my life, this 2001. And you brought me and some co-workers of mine in to meet with Michael Vick lawyer at the time, okay? Because you was working for that firm. You remember when we came to see you, Mr. Collins? And you told me these words. You said, let me tell you something. First of all, them will always be your kids. No matter what anybody do, say, how they want to act or whatever, them will always be your kid. Always be there for your kids. All right? It's going to become challenging. But understand something. You got bigger things to do. He says success happens when preparation meets opportunity. Let me explain something to you. From all the fire that my wife and I seen since October the 24th, 2019, that fire was sent in our lives to refine us. So that when the G999 came to us, really about a month before launch, and gave me a whole month to lay down and study, because I didn't know anything about this crypto thing. And my wife, 24 hours with my son, she couldn't spend the time. She said, babe, look, could you look at this video? And what she do that for? So I just like to say to you, Mr. Collins, much love, honor, and respect, because I never forgot that moment. And I always said, I'm preparing now just in case an opportunity comes along. I never thought that it would be my own asset-based bank. I never thought that. I never thought that it would grow as fast as it's grown. I never thought that some of my closest homeboys can't hear me. Period. Yet, it is what it is. You see, the wonderful thing about the Lord is that He puts you where He wants you to be. So that when it's time for you to get to whining and complaining, talking about what you don't have, the Lord is going to run the tape, because your heart is always taking video and audio. And when you mention how much faith you got and how much you love the Lord, understand that that video turns into HD. So just keep in mind that you can't lie to yourself. That's why "did you do" is such powerful words. Because guess what? You can lie to them. You know, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all the time. But guess what? You can't never fool self-discipline. Because my mentor, Mike Dalco said, by way of Mr. Ty Best, he said it best. There are no problems or issues or troubles in your life that you can't sponsor your way out of. Much love, honor, and respect, man. Thank y'all so much. My mentors, the leaders of this organization, thank you for the opportunity, number one. But thank you for all that you do. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for going out there, setting the example, taking all the arrows, taking all the gainsayers and the scoffers, and this ain't this, and this ain't that, and that ain't this, and this ain't that. Thank you for taking them. Thank you for taking all that. Because I promise you, Mr. and Mrs. Sleep Money, we in it for the long haul. Shout out to the family. Sleep Money.